Choosing the wrong course platform will cost you time and money. I've seen it happen many times before with coaches, educators, and consultants who pick a platform, build everything out, and then realize it doesn't do what they specifically need. I'm a Thinkific expert who is building online courses on the platform for over 10 years, and I'll own that bias up front. But I've also spent extensive time inside Teachable and a dozen other platforms. In this video, we'll cover pricing, features, ease of use, and most importantly, which platform actually makes sense if you want to teach and sell what you know online. They're more alike than people think. Both Thinkific and Teachable are online course builder platforms. They let you build courses, host your content, and deliver a learning experience to your students. Now, both of these platforms are solid. They both work. But the question remains, which one is better for your specific situation? Teachable gives you a 7-day free trial, while Thinkific gives you 14 days. However, if you use my Thinkific affiliate link, you will get a 30-day free trial. That is more than most platforms offer right out the gate. So I'll leave that link in the description below. Now let's start with what they have in common. Both of them give you a drag and drop course builder. You don't need to know how to code. There is AI tools to help you generate your course outline and or your first online course so that it takes the pressure and heavy lifting off of you. And there is video hosting built in. So you upload your lessons and the platform delivers and feeds the video to your students. Payment processing. Students can pay for the course once or split up into multiple payments using Afterpay and or Klarna. Student management. You can see who is enrolled, track your progress, how many lessons they've watched. They also have basic email settings to communicate with your students. Certificates of completion, so that when a student completes the course, they are automatically issued a certificate. The ability to sell courses, memberships, coaching, and digital downloads, because we know that this business model isn't just about selling courses, it's about selling knowledge in many different forms. Drip content, you can schedule the lessons to release over time instead of all at once, so that if you were running different programs or if you were testing, you have the option to set up your content to release in different periods of time. And most importantly, free preview lessons. Both platforms allow people to preview a lesson before they are ready to buy. So on the surface, they look pretty similar, and for a lot of people watching this, either one would technically get the job done. However, as we go deeper into the platform, that is where the differences start to matter. And depending on what you're trying to build, these differences can either save you a ton of headaches or create more of them. Now let's go into pricing, because that is usually the first thing people look at. Here's what's interesting. On paper, Thinkific looks more expensive, but when you compare what you actually get at each price point, the picture changes. Let me show you what I mean. Teachable's starter plan begins at $39 a month. However, that comes with a whopping 7.5% transaction fee on every sale, and you are capped at 5 products and 100 students. So if you sell a $200 course, Teachable takes $15 off of every sale in addition to your monthly fee. And those 5 products include your courses. After 5 courses, you've already hit the max on the plan. Now the next plan up is the builder plan, but the price jumps to $89 a month. Though at $89 a month, the transaction fee drops to 0, and they've expanded the number of products that you can build to 10 with a cap of 1,000 students. Now, if you pay annually, those prices come down to $29 and $69 respectively. But let's talk about monthly, because that's where most people begin with. Now, on Thinkific, their basic plan begins at $54. That is more than Teachable's starter plan, right? Thinkific seems more expensive at $54 a month versus the $39 on Teachable's plan. But here's the difference. You get unlimited courses and no transaction fees from day one. You do have a cap of 5 digital download products on the basic plan, but your actual courses, they're unlimited. The start plan then jumps to $109 a month, or $82 if you pay annually. And that gives you unlimited digital downloads, certificates, payment plans, memberships, and coaching products. When you actually line them up side by side, Teachable's builder plan at $89 gives you 10 products total, including courses, 1,000 students, 0 transaction fees. Now, Thinkific Start Plan begins at $109 a month and gives you unlimited courses, unlimited digital downloads, memberships, certificates, and no transactions fees. Now, that is a $20 difference on your monthly billing. But on Thinkific, your courses don't count against any product cap and you get way more included. Now, here's the part that matters if you're planning ahead. On Teachable, that product limit includes your courses. On the Builder plan, you have a maximum of 10 products, which sounds like a lot when you have a flagship course, a mini course, a membership, a few coaching products, and some digital downloads. Now, on Thinkific, you can create as many courses as you want, and your digital downloads are unlimited on the Start plan and above. Now, let's talk about payment processing fees, because that is where a lot of people get confused. Essentially, on Teachable, you're paying not only the monthly subscription fee, but also a payment processing fee and a transaction fee on every sale. Now, if you jump to the Builder plan at $89, the transaction fees drop to 0. But on the starter plan, you're losing 7.5% on every sale just to the platform. Now, Thinkific, as I said, doesn't charge any platform transaction fees at all. But what you do pay are standard payment processing fees through Thinkific Payments. And those vary depending on where your business is located. If you're in the US or Canada, it is 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Now, if you're in another country such as the UK or Australia, you can look at the chart and find out what those transaction fees are and how that compares to other platforms. Those are just the standard credit card processing fees, the kind that you would pay Stripe or PayPal or any other payment processor. These are not a Thinkific surcharge, it's the cost of doing business. So the bottom line on fees is that Teachable takes a cut on their cheapest plan, Thinkific doesn't. One thing worth mentioning is that while Thinkific's monthly plan has recently gone up, the increased prices reflect the investment that they've put into expanding and growing the platform. Now let's look at community features. This is a big one, especially if you are a coach or run any kind of group program. Thinkific has community spaces where you can create discussion areas, share updates, organize groups around specific courses or memberships, as well as host events online and or in person. It really feels like, to me, a real community. If you've been thinking about adding a community component to your course, which honestly I recommend everyone should, Thinkific handles that natively. Teachable has community features too, but they are more basic. It gets the job done for simple discussions. But if community is a big part of your business and what you believe in, then Thinkific gives you a lot more to work with. Now let's talk about sales tools. Both Teachable and Thinkific offer the opportunity to upsell your customers through every transaction, built-in affiliate management, revenue share, and the checkout process optimized for conversions. They also let you set enrollment limits, cap the number of students, and add an expiration date to any course, which is great if you're running a launch with scarcity or urgency built in. Now let's talk about the mobile experience. Both platforms offer a iOS and Android app, because we know that students aren't always sitting in front of their computer at home. They're either in their car, they're on the train, they're on a bus. And so learning needs to be flexible wherever your students are. Teachable's mobile app includes offline mode for on-the-go learning, dark mode, locked screen video controls, and much, much more. In Thinkific, students get a home tab that works like a personalized dashboard. It shows their recent courses, community activity, upcoming events, and digital downloads. They can even participate in community discussions right from their phone so that it is convenient and easy for them to access. Now, if you'd like to go a step further with a mobile app experience, you can even get a fully branded version of your app with your own name and icon in the App Store on a higher tiered plan inside Thinkific. Now let's talk about the course builder and customization. This is where Thinkific excels because the course builder is really flexible. You can mix video, audio, text, PDFs, quizzes, and live Zoom sessions. You can also set prereqs so that students have to complete certain lessons before moving on, which is huge if you're really intentional about learning experience. And if you're in the corporate training or continuing education space, Thinkific also supports SCORM files, which Teachable doesn't. One thing Thinkific offers that Teachable doesn't is built-in webinars. If you want to run live sessions as part of your business, Thinkific handles that natively. On Teachable, you would need a third-party tool. For the course player, Thinkific gives you a clean and simple standard player that works great out of the box. However, if your students want a more customized experience, that's where you can tweak the colors and the fonts and the logo to match your brand. Now, Teachable's player is solid too, but it offers less customization. And so it really depends on how much control you want over how your site looks. Thinkific Site Builder gives you a lot of customization without needing a developer, and Teachable keeps things simple, which is fine if you want something quick and fast, but can be limiting if you're looking for something that feels a little bit more personal. As always, you can link to an external website through each of the different platforms. If this is helpful so far, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're just beginning your online training course business, subscribe to the channel for new videos every week to help you build your online training business with impact and scale. Now let's begin building a course inside each platform to compare side by side. Let's go ahead and build the first course. The first thing you want to do is go under the products and then click on courses. And if you're building a digital ebook, or if you're uploading a coaching call or webinar as part of your Thinkific library, then you click on coaching and webinars. And then if you're offering memberships, you can click on memberships. But for this video, we're just going to focus on courses. It used to be you'd go directly into the course and start building. Now you have a choice of edit and manage. Edit is specifically editing course content, and manage means manage the course admin's enrollment of your users, your settings, your URL and code. Let's focus on editing this course so that we can build our first online course. And you'll see that I used a template. I used the mini course template. If you go into products and then you can choose from one of the many options presented in here. Going back to demo course, let's click on the edit button because this allows us to edit this template. Thinkific has already given us a structure for a mini course. They've given us these headings. These are called chapters. And then they've just given us these draft lessons. Let's say you like this draft lesson and they're just telling you how to use it. And then we can take it a step further and say introduction. You want to have an introduction from your instructor. And I'm just going to keep this as a draft because we don't have a video yet. But if I did have a video, I can look into my video library and I can use maybe this trailer that I've done before, and I'll add the asset. And then I can say this is a welcome from your instructor. I'm excited and eager for you to start the course. And then if you'd like to add any downloads, like maybe any tip sheets as part of your welcome, you can. We'll just keep this simple and we'll just save this lesson. And let's just say you want to add like a lesson for tips for success. You can add another lesson and call it a PDF and call it tips for success and making the most of the course. And then we can look for in our asset library. It used to be you could upload a file. Now, if you upload everything into your asset library, then you can automatically find the file. Two ways to do this. Go to Browse Asset Library, and you can see I don't have anything right now, but I can upload some assets and look for any of my couple PDFs that I have from some course lessons, and then just upload it into here. And then once it's uploaded, it will always live in my library. And so the advantage is if you upload it once, you can reuse it in different courses. You don't have to re-upload it in the future. So let's just use this profit first chart and then add this as an asset. And that's the PDF I'm going to use for this course. And then I can save this lesson. And then the cool thing is then if I wanted to use this mini course as a lead magnet, I can make this a free lesson. So I can check this box to make it a free lesson. And if you are selling this course and this entire first chapter is going to be free preview, you'll just make each of the lessons a free preview. So you'll click on this and then make this a free lesson as well. And you can also go ahead and make this a free lesson as well. The first chapter of this course will be free. And then after they've previewed it, Thinkific will automatically pop a message that says your free preview is over. Would you like to buy the rest of the course? And they have the option to check out and buy the rest of the course. This way allows you to build one product with a chapter as a free preview and then sell the rest of the course to your students. If you want to keep going, you can click on add lesson. And then if you want to add a quiz, you can add a quiz. And this is where you can leverage the AI. As an FYI, I am using the AI builder for this demo. If you want to go back to not using AI because maybe you have your own custom AI that you use for your material, that is fine too. But Thinkific just allows you to generate multiple choice questions from your PDFs. Remember, AI is not perfect. You always want to proofread. Let's put quiz, and then we can say generate 3 questions. We can generate up to 10 multiple choice questions, and these questions are pulled directly from your content. And we can say generate questions, and then if you want to copy your own question, you can afterwards. But let's just see what the AI comes up with from the content. And then I'll just save this lesson. The AI has generated 3 quiz questions, and if I like it, I can say accept and add to quiz. And if I want to add some more questions, I can add another multiple choice question. Remember, these are only multiple choice questions. Now that I've covered the quiz, one of the other tips that I wanted to share is that you can always copy quiz questions and even lessons from other courses. As you grow with Thinkific, this is what makes it really convenient. You can repurpose quiz questions, you can repurpose lessons and structures from this course. So let's just say I have another course that I want to pull a lesson from. I'll just click this 3-dot hamburger menu and click copy lesson from. And then I'll say, like, let's just say create your online training program. And I want to add module 1 slides PDF. I've already copied that as a placeholder, and then I can replace and add new files here. And this is where I have to add new files, or I can go ahead and pull it from my asset library. Now you'll save the lesson. And now one of the tips that I want to show you is the teaching assistant. This is the newest AI feature that I mentioned. It's called Thinker AI. It is trained on your material only, so it doesn't share your material with anyone else or on the web. It's specifically within your course. You can give the AI a little context about how you want them to respond to questions students have. This is really helpful if you are not offering coaching. While it is not a substitute for coaching, it is an advantage when you're sharing foundational and basic concepts like a basic intro level course. This is a great way to allow the students to use the AI to refresh and to train them and to teach them on these foundational concepts. A lot of people, including myself, have found using AI as a tutor really helpful, and that is the idea behind Thinker AI. You can change the name and change the button, and you can also restrict Thinker access to those who have purchased or granted direct access that can use it. So it's not public to anyone who is not enrolled in the course. And you can also set a limit on the number of responses. And this may be helpful, especially in self-paced courses. AI has its limits when you have a community of students helping each other, encouraging each other, and supporting each other. Sometimes that is more effective than the AI. What you can do is click on this if you say, I want to limit the monthly responses to 20 responses, because after a while, too much time spent on AI can lead a person in a spiral of confusion. Now that we have done that, you can see, I think it gives you some context about which courses they can access. So you can search by course name, use all content. You can also give more context because, as I mentioned before, AI needs a lot of context. So you can give them an FAQ or glossary so that when students are asking questions, the thinker knows what to reference when giving them an answer. And then that goes here is where you'll see any files that were uploaded so that you can check whether you've uploaded the right materials for the AI to be trained on to tutor virtually your student. And then once that's done, you can click on publish. And then we're going to go into analytics, and there will be no analytics because this is just a demo account. But under analytics, they will tell you how much your students have leveraged the Thinker AI, how many messages, at what time, and how much usage by date. And so it helps you understand whether your students really like the AI or not, and whether you want to put more energy and time and effort into the AI so that you can guide your students' study. And then it can give you some data about effectiveness and breakdown and message history and time. It's all really just to guide you as the instructor, how much your students are leveraging AI and how much it is either helping or hurting your students' learning progress. And then the last thing I want to go over is the community. This is really important because without a community, students are left off on their own. Thinkific has made some improvements to the community where it allows you to schedule posts. So I can check here what my scheduled posts are, create different spaces, and I can even do events. So if I'm hosting any in-person events, I can create my event here. And then add a link to any like ticketing. Let's just say I'm doing this in person. I can add here any event details, and then I can notify members, and then maybe in here add a link to tickets, and then I'll click update, and I should click on the notify members. And then if you were doing a virtual event, here's what you would do is just set it up as a virtual event with the meeting link to either Google, Zoom, or Teams. The other thing I forgot to mention about one of the improvements in Thinkific communities is that now you can DM each other. Similarly to other community platforms, you can enable direct messages. And so people can send each other messages directly in the course. And this is nice because sometimes you don't want to post it in the big space because you have a very specific question for one person. DMs allows you to reach out to someone personally and say, hey. And then in the community, I want to highlight that you can create different spaces. In my general knowledge-based community, I can have weekly updates, week one homework, and random discussion. This allows people to filter and post their question or comments in a specific space. Let's assume that this course is ready. I've showed you how to add everything. And then in your settings, this allows you to decide whether you want to disable chapter completion message, what kind of background, like light or dark, and then some other minor settings depending on how important they matter to you. These details are important, whether you want it to autoplay and whether you want people to watch a certain percentage of a video before they're allowed to continue to the next lesson. If you're offering a course for like certification or compliance, this may be something to consider, but otherwise I don't recommend it because everyone kind of watches at different paces, and some people start a course or start a video and then they get distracted, and if you stop them from going ahead, they may feel frustrated, and flexibility is really important. The next setting that I wanted to cover is a drip schedule. If you're teaching this synchronous or asynchronous, what you may want to consider is creating a drip schedule. Do you want them to start at a certain time? Maybe you're only opening this course up during a specific time period because you're testing, and so then you can create a drip schedule. And then you can decide if you want it based on learner enrollment date or learner start date or calendar date. You pick one of the settings and then you click save. You can open this course based on when they enrolled in the course. Let's say you decide to sell the course, but you're not going to open up the course until a later date. Then you can stagger it based on when they start so that the content isn't released all at once. Maybe you want to just give it to them in bite-sized pieces every week. Or if you want to release it on a specific date, then you can release it on a specific date. Keep this in the future and then click save. And this will reset all my settings. And then if everything looks good to me, I need to put in the pricing, a one-time payment, offer monthly payment plan, and or subscription and membership. I can go ahead and choose those settings. And sometimes I have a primary price, but I may have an additional pricing for more high-ticket courses. Right now, I'm assuming you're just starting out and you want to offer something at a couple $100, but if you're doing something like $1,500 or $3,000, depending on what the topic is, like a mastermind, you may want to offer different pricing. Lastly, you want to build your landing page. And so you can just see how this page looks like right now. This is specifically using the AI. And if I want to edit the page, I can edit the page. And so this is the AI builder. It just gives me the template for how my landing page should look. And I can change each section. If I don't like this image, I can switch to a new banner image. If I don't like the color, this is where section style allows me to change the color. And if I want to move sections down, I can click this button, move down, or here in the next section, if I wanted to move this up, I can choose to move this up or delete it. So this just gives you a template and customize this. And let's just say you don't like using the AI, you can go back and switch to the classic in the settings. And then you can always toggle this button. And if you click save, now you want to build your landing page by yourself because you have a specific look you like. In this demo course, this is using the AI builder. And if you want to use the same content, but switch to a classic site builder where you can add custom code, you'll click on this 3-dot hamburger menu and then click on duplicate. And then you can duplicate this course. This demo course uses the classic site builder. And you can tell because these sections are different than what you saw in the AI. This is Thinkific's native site builder. We can add sections like bonus material, checklists, and then you can also leverage Thinkific expert Rob Galvin's super power-up site page templates. He has some free site page templates that you can use to build. And then this gives you a lot more options to play with your landing page. I personally prefer the classic look, but some people may prefer the AI look because it is very simple and it is templatized. And all you have to do is change the color, the style, the layout, as well as the text. If you're ready to publish this, I'll just go to manage and then click on publish. I'm inside my Teachable dashboard. So let's quickly go over how it's set up and then go right into building our first online course. And then afterwards, I'll talk about where, based on this experience, what my recommend at the end of the demo. Now, as you can see, the navigation menu is kind of standard and similar to a lot of platforms, especially Thinkific. Now, one of the differences is the way they've set it up, where you saw Thinkific, they really broke it down more in terms of like marketing, user management, products. They really focus here on navigation. So this is your home. This is where you can see all the users who are enrolled in your course, any leads, any affiliates, and any tags, so that if you wanted to group and sort your users by, let's just say you're doing like a test course versus you're launching like a full launch, you can do that. If you wanted to look at your landing pages, you would go to pages and they will tell you which pages are built right now. So far you have a home page and a privacy policy and terms of use. That is your main school page. And then they also list out product pages that you will need to build. And then on the product pages, there's no product selected right now. That is an indication that I need to build out my product landing page. So I would just click on the product that I need to build out. And it's unpublished. And if I wanted to edit, then I would just click on edit and then follow their builder in terms of the guidelines of building out my product landing page. And so they give you a layout so that it kind of saves you some time. And the goal is replacing the image, changing the button text and these images as well as the copy so that it doesn't sound so cookie cutter. And then it makes it easy so that you're ready to build. Now let's just go back to seeing the rest of it. One of the things that we can go back to is, now we can go back to site. So we went through pages. Now comments is any like student comments on your lessons. In each lesson you can enable comments. If you want to see all the comments, you can navigate to site and then comments to see all the comments. Language and text, so if you wanted to change the language of your site, you can change it from English to French, etc. The code snippets is not allowed on the starter plan, but if I wanted to add code because I wanted to enhance the theme and I wanted to customize the course player, I can, but for now, it's just to give you an overview that it's not a functionality that is available on your starter plan. Domains is where, like right now, it says learnwithjean.teachable.com, and later on, if I want to create my own domain like learnwithjean.com, I can go ahead and brand this to learnwithjean.com instead of having the teachable.com. Navigation allows you to see all the different links that are related to your school. So you'll have like all products, you'll have a specific product and or a membership. And so they give you also different links for like the sign in and or sign up. Now, theme is where you want to customize the design of your site. So they want to encourage you to upload your logo, thumbnail, and icons so that everything is kind of complete. And then they have some default color settings. You can choose one or you can change the color later on. But so here in the theme, in this theme section, this is just where you customize the theme. But because I am on the starter plan, there is not a lot of room for customization. So I just have to stick with these colors, whether I like it or not. Now in our sales section, we can see all our transactions, payouts, coupons, and payment settings. This icon represents emails. This is where you can customize all your email settings. So you can see how many emails you've sent out, and then they have a template editor. So if you wanted to change and customize your email, you can go ahead and decide, do you want the emails directly to come from Teachable, or do you want them to disable these notifications and send them directly from your own email marketing platform? Now we can go to App Hub. This allows you to connect different tools like Zapier, Google Analytics, all to your Teachable accounts. If you wanted to run ads on your account, you can connect to Google Analytics and see how much my Learn with Jean site is getting if I'm running ads. If you wanted to build out a coaching product, you would just click on coaching and create coaching and follow these instructions. Now, if you wanted to sell digital downloads, this is where you can sell ebooks, workbooks, guides, PDFs, and more, so that you have all these different revenue streams in your business. If you wanted to sell memberships like a video library of tutorials on Teachable or Thinkific, I could offer a membership library here. And then collections just allows you to bundle different products and structure them into learning paths. Now, let's go ahead into building our first course. If you want to create a new course, just go to New Course, give it a name, just say, I want to talk about how to start a business lean and simple. And my course will teach the lean startup framework. And then once that looks good to you, just click on this continue button, and then they will ask you to upload your image so that there is a course card, or what they call a product image card. And if you don't have one, let's just skip this for now. And then here you can either generate with AI or start from scratch or bulk upload. So let's just say I want to build from scratch. I'm going to click on start from scratch, click on finish. This section is called Why Lean Startup, and then that's my chapter, or that's my module section. And then I'm ready to start my first lesson, Intro to Lean Startup, and then I'll click on save. And then right now you can see it says empty because it's empty. Now I'm going to go ahead and add content, so I can make this a text and image or a video or PDF. I can add all different types of lesson content to support the teaching of this lesson. One thing to note is, so now I can add my content. So let's just say if I want to add a video, I can add a video. Let's just say I just want to make it a text and image and say why lean startup, simple, fast, and fail cheap, and used by many big companies before they hit it big. And then I can also ask the AI assistant to give me some more ideas. So here I'll say add more bullet points to this lesson about why lean startup is so successful and works over and over. I can just give it some context. Now I'm going to generate some more text. So now the AI has given me a lot more context. I can review it, customize it, change it. If, let's say, there was a YouTube video that I really liked that talks about lean startup, then I can say watch this video instead of adding a video, and I can just link to this. I can say watch this video and add a link. And this is where I need to go to some kind of link, but I'll just put youtube.com. And so anytime someone in the class, so that a student a student who is on this lesson will see the text, but they'll also see this URL so that it is hyperlinked and take me to the video that I want them to watch. Now, let's just say I like it. Let's just click save. And I can continue to follow this process and add more content. And I can even add a quiz. And I can use the AI to generate questions. And this is where it helps the AI is if you already have quiz questions. Because then they have context to work with rather than just drawing a blank. And so I don't have anything, but let me just say, like, who has used the lean startup method before? And let's just make up a company that says, like, I don't know, Facebook, Google, tech companies, and unsure, or none of the above. So let's just say, let's just use it as a test, and then we'll click on save. Oh, and then I have to select the answer will be none of the above, and I'll click save. So now this course has a text and image lesson and a quiz. And if I wanted to continue more, I can if I like, and then, so this is just the initial setup of, setup of creating an online course inside Teachable. And then if I want to continue adding more to my course, I click on add content. I can rinse and repeat this process by clicking on adding content and choosing the type of content that I'm going to add for this lesson. And then once I'm good with that, then I can then I can preview and see. I can preview, and now let's preview. You can see the first lesson is Intro to Lean Startup. They can read the text, and then there is a quiz afterwards, and they can watch this video. And and then there is a complete and continue, so that when they're done with this lesson, they click on complete and continue. And so you see there's really not too much because I haven't published this course. Let's go back to our course builder. So we've set up our curriculum. Now they want us to select a template for the course, and we'll just select one that they've already chosen for us. And then we can choose inside to whether to customize, and then we can choose whether to offer a certificate. But because I'm on the starter plan, does not give you the ability to do certificates. But then here's where the most key thing is. You can set up your pricing, and then my sales page, I can edit my sales page here, and then click on embed, and this is where I can connect my Teachable to other external websites. And this might be helpful because maybe I decide I want to use the sales page on WordPress instead. Coupons here allows you to generate coupons specifically for this course product. And then upsell funnel is similar to Thinkific in what they call the order bumps, so that every person who buys this course has an opportunity to be upselled into another digital product, or they could be if it's not like a digital product, I can also create a post-purchase upsell so that I can add coaching, and then I can customize the thank you page as well as any specific course lesson upsell. This is a quick overview of how you build an online course in Teachable. And you've seen the Thinkific demo and you've seen the Teachable demo side by side, and you get to see how easy it is or how challenging or how nuanced it is to build your first course product inside these platforms. My final recommendation is, if you are a beginner, I recommend going with Thinkific. The reason why I still recommend Thinkific is, one, it is easy to use and very intuitive based on the menu bar and navigation menu. Two, you have more choices in terms of the type of products that you can create, and there's no cap on enrollment. Three, there is no transaction fees. It's just a standard payment processing fee and a monthly fee. And four, they really value user experience. And five, they allow you to really engage and connect with your online community. Thanks for watching, and come back next week for another comparison of Thinkific versus Teachable versus LearnWorlds. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. So after all that, which one do I recommend? I've already acknowledged that I am biased as a Thinkific expert, but here's my honest take. If you're an educator, coach, consultant, or trainer, or someone who has real expertise in a specific subject matter, and you want to build a course business around it, Thinkific is the better fit. 1, there are no transaction fees from day one. You only pay for the monthly subscription fee and the payment processing fee. 2, better community features so that you can actually build something around your course and help people learn with each other rather than alone. 3, a more flexible course builder that lets you create a real learning experience and not just a playlist of videos. Built-in webinars so that you don't need a separate tool for live sessions. You can integrate Zoom directly inside your Thinkific platform. 5, if you're doing anything around certification, compliance, or corporate training, SCORM support is a deal breaker and only offered on Thinkific. Now, if you're considering giving Teachable a try, they do offer a 7-day free trial, and I'm not going to dissuade you against trying it out. But for most people who are ready and want to teach what they know and build something meaningful, Thinkific gives you more room to grow. If you want to try it out, I'll leave my affiliate link in the description below. It gets you a 30-day free trial instead of the standard 14. It doesn't cost you extra, and it does help support this channel. And if you're ready to get started with Thinkific, I actually have a full beginner tutorial where I walk through setting up everything step by step. I'll link that up here. Thanks for watching, and come back next week where I'm going to deep dive into comparing Thinkific versus Teachable versus LearnWorld. I'll see you soon.